Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today on the story of a champion we have one of the best athletes in the country. We actually at Kisumu. The name of this gym is called? Powerflex Gym, Kenyari. Kisumu iko huko nyuma, sijui kunaitwa aje. Iko Kenyari. Kenyari bado inakwanga kweli?
Kwani hizi nyumba ziko hapa zili Kenyari?
Because I used to know Kenyari ni kitu ilikuja ikakufa. Kuna politicians walimaliza Kenyari. Anyway,
but the house is already sold, so
the house is sold.
The houses were sold to the those who are renting. It was rent to own. So when you waliuziwa, now even if the company collapsed, still the staff owned the company, owned the houses.
So who owns this gym?
The owner of this gym is the lady we've met at the door.
Oh, the lady at the door.
She's also a resident up at Kenyari.
Oh, yes. So this gym is called Powerflex Gym, and I'm happy to have one of the best guys in the country. Please introduce yourself to our audience as we start.
Okay. Thank you so much for this platform, Mr. Juha Maloba. It's been a great honor to have you with us in Kisumu. I believe this is the first time someone has come to broadcast Kisumu gyms and to at least interview athletes around this area. This is the first time we get a chance to broadcast ourselves, and the first time we are able to share what we do, share what goes around, how we live and how we maneuver through this sport. So my name is Mariano Amumbe. I'm a strongman athlete, and I am an architect by profession and a construction project manager. I also do consultancies once in a while, that is for health and fitness. And thank you for this platform.
Sasa shida ya kuinterview mtu mwenye amesoma sana, akisema titles inafika mahali unachanganyikiwa. Anyway, we'll want to go straight to our content, and before we go to what has brought us here today, okay. We have no structure on how we are going to do this thing, but nataka utuambie your fitness journey first of all, just in brief, how you ended up into fitness and up to kwa kuja kwa strongman athlete.
This one is a funny story because it starts from far back, way far back. One, I believe most of the guys who are born in our generation grew up watching wrestling.
Yeah, true.
So I used to watch wrestling with my dad. Especially, there was this particular day that John Cena first came to the ring, and I looked at this guy and said, I want to be like this man. So I asked my dad, what can I do to be like this man? And my dad told me, you need to go to the gym, but you're still too young to go to the gym. By then I was a class 3. I think it was 2001, 2002 there. So I said, okay. So I have to wait until I become an adult to go to the gym. So by chance, I got myself at St. Mary's School, Yala, and I had a chance to get my first experience in the gym. But then I was told, for you to use this gym, you have to be a rugby player, because it was a rugby player's gym.
Is it the time where you guys were playing rugby, the likes of Kina Jinton?
Yes. In fact, Jinton was my classmate. We were together with him in the North Stream all the way from Form 1 up to Form 4. Yeah, so I was told I have to play rugby to use the gym. And then I said, okay, it's a small sacrifice to look like John Cena, so let me get enrolled into rugby. So I started playing rugby in 2008. That was when I was a Form 2, but then I stopped for a while because of music festivals and drama festivals. Then I came back in Form 3 third term, and I played it until the end of my Form 4. My idea was to
be like John Cena.
To stop playing rugby after Form 4, because I knew my main target was to look like John Cena. And now that I was an adult after high school, I can go to the gym and look like John Cena. But then our captain by then, Rocky Aguko, he plays for KCB Rugby Club, pulled me back into rugby. And that's how I played rugby all along, but I still had that aim at the back of my mind that one day I want to look like John Cena.
So my question comes to, why this transition from rugby to weightlifting? Actually to strongman? Because actually the reason why I'm asking this is because I have noticed a number of athletes who wametoka rugby. I can mention the likes of Chisanga, the likes of Mavala. So many people have transitioned from rugby into either strongman, CrossFit. So why is it that this is the case? Even ladies, Champe, so many people.
You know, one thing with rugby is it instills in you some level of discipline that you can't just live a sedentary life as an adult. You find that when you feel you are either too committed because of activities, work, family, you still find yourself after you leave rugby, you want to remain active. But then because we are used to competing, we are used to testing our strengths and limits, you can't just be going to the gym casually. So you have to put it to test. So rugby, the risks with rugby is the injuries are quite a lot. Even if you are 100% fit or even 50% fit, you can still get injured. So you find it's a bit harder to control your injury rate as opposed to if you are doing strength sports like powerlifting and strongman or bodybuilding. So that's what pushes the transition, because you come from the field because you cannot have enough time to continue training in the morning in the gym and going to the field in the evening, because maybe you've got a job 8 to 5. You live somewhere in Nairobi where you have to wake up at 5 a.m. for you to be able to get to your office at 7:30 or 8. By the time you leave the office at 5 in the evening, the earliest you can get to your home is 6 or 6:30. So you start imagining, I have to go to the field, I have to go to the gym, I have family to concentrate on, I have work to concentrate on. So you then end up minimizing your co-curricular activities and look for which is the closest sport to rugby that you can do comfortably within a small time range and still be able to actively compete and enjoy your strengths or enjoy your successes.
Okay, you've just mentioned something about family. I think this is something I want our audience to know, because there has been this myth. I don't know if it's happening to you. You'll tell us first of all if you're married. Most people in weightlifting, they don't want to marry or to get married because okay, it's a serious topic that I wanted us to discuss, maybe just a little bit, because I was interviewing some bodybuilder last week from Eldoret, and it was Black Hulk. So we were trying to negotiate we were trying to converse the reasons why most ladies are not into these fitness sports, whether it's strongman, bodybuilding. Then akaleta the idea of the society, the way the society views. Unajua hapa ni Kisumu. So for instance, where you'll find that the society is so negative about ladies going into
men's things. They call them men's things.
But now for us as men, because we are talking as men, why is it that most guys in weightlifting rarely go and get married? Like, are you married first of all? Like, because ladies tend to equate weightlifting to
masculinity.
To masculinity.
Yes.
Ama fujo, unaona huyu kama atakuwa anapiga. Some ladies usually tell me like, wewe unaweza tutaka mtu wa gym. What is your response to that?
Kasirika kidogo unampiga kofi ameanguka.
Yeah. What is your response to that?
Well, I think the main issues are just two. One is perspective, and the second is compromise. For me, I'm married. I have a wife. No kids yet, but I have a wife. And the issue that comes about it is, when you're marrying someone, you're basically interlocking your lives. So this person comes with their priorities and the things that they would want you to do and the things that they can't bend their backs for. And they also have yours that you have to merge. Now you find bodybuilding or anything to do with sports, especially strength sports, they are very time taxing or rather selfish. There is a video by Evan Sentopani when he was still part of Animal Planet, and he was saying bodybuilding is a selfish endeavor.
Yeah, true.
Because you have to
sacrifice a lot of your time.
A lot of things and think about yourself.
Yeah.
If you are timed that at this moment in time I have to sleep. At this time I have to eat this and this. When you have someone else in your house, like a wife or kids, when you want to sleep, your kids want to play with you.
Yeah, true.
When you want to sleep, your wife wants her conjugal rights.
Yeah.
So that is now where this thing gets to clash. So if you're doing it as a professional, then you find a lot of difficulties in merging. You will get someone and you will start living together, but then after a year or so and you're still actively participating in sports, there's that friction that comes in, and you find you don't want to compromise because maybe you've not yet achieved your goals in the sport you're doing. For example, you're a bodybuilder and you say, I want to go to the Natural Olympia stage from Kenya in the next 5 years. But then you marry a year later and you find that goal now becomes, it's going towards being unachievable. So you find most athletes want to finish what I want to do selfishly first. Then once I retire, I should now get into marriage and life and everything.
So what do you think we can do so that we can minimize on that. Because I think I've also been affected by that because you see at times you find I've been into powerlifting I think for the last like 4 years.
Yes.
But now you see there's some things that are going to suffer.
Yes.
Maybe if you are doing some studies,
yes,
they'll have to suffer. At least one thing will have to suffer. At least I don't
more
have
than
a
one.
family, but maybe if you have a family, at least the social life changes.
Yes.
So what do you think is the best solution? Now we are talking as athletes. We're not talking as just any person. What do you think is the best life for somebody who's into this weightlifting sport? Akuan is that English? For them to be able to balance between weightlifting, social life, marriage. What is the best solution?
The best solution is just get together with someone who is well aligned to your goals. For example, even just as ourselves as men, if we start choosing friends, like for example, when I got into strongman, you find I left the friends who keep telling me to the club. And I was like, no, size in the club, I need to sleep. Then I leave them and sleep. With the time you find after being a no-show for their calls, they end up cutting you off and saying, uja must be easy. Yeah, so if you can shake off friends even just as a man, and you're shaking off your male friends, so that you can align yourself with those people who are moving in the same direction with you in terms of your goals, you start having more friends who are athletes, you start having more friends who are
go to the gym,
physicists, nutritionists and trainers. So I think the same also applies to now how you would mix marriage life and the sport, because you need a wife who understands you, who understands what you're doing, and it should not be that she is compromising to understand. It should be that she naturally understands because she has the same, if not the same, but she has something
similar interest, or at least she can understand what you're up to.
Yes, like my wife likes training. Even before she knew me, she had never trained, but in her mind she was always that she wants to train. If she finds this person who would give her that extra push, then she'll be able to do it. So when she finally met me and I was able to give her that extra push, and then she was like, this is okay. So you find a lot of things we discuss in the house, even about training, dieting, we are almost most of the time on the same page. If we go to the market and we are choosing,
do you guys have
the
same goals? Or,
no, we don't have the same goals. For her, hers is just to be fit and look lean. Same as mine as well, because my main reason of getting into strongman was I knew if I want to build as much density as possible before I lean off, then I need to do something that enables me to train really hard and pack up the weights. You know, with muscle building, there's this formula of building lean muscle as you go, and there's this formula of bulking, building density with fat, then you now cut. What bodybuilders do. Off season you find he's buff, then on season he's lost. If you compare the weights, you find in his last competition last year, he weighed maybe 220 pounds and he was very lean. But then in off season, he went up to 260 pounds. By the time he shows up on stage the next year, he's 230 pounds lean.
And I'd like to take you a bit back. I'd like to take you back a bit. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of a champion, and this goes back to the issue you said. For athletes or people in the gym to remain in this life of working out, you have to align with a couple, somebody whom you have the same interests. And this narrows down to my second topic of the day that I want to discuss with you, which goes to psychology in lifting. There are things that really affect people in the gym. There are things that affect athletes maybe during competition. There are things that affect people even before, after competition. So it's something that was I just come about the psychology of lifting. Like I'll give you an example. The first example that we've talked about, having a couple who is going to support you during your workouts, it's going to positively affect your psychology during the lift. But then the other example I'm going to give you, that's something that I've observed, and a number of people have been telling me, even after competitions, during competitions, and I even see it in the gym. Saa zingine unaweza kuja gym and there's something that is going to affect you mentally. Like for me, basically I can tell you, if I go to the gym, then I find the squat rack, maybe watu kwa squat rack mtu anafanya bench, psychology yangu mimi inakujanga tu chini. Ni kitu imenihapenia.
Inaku affect.
Like unapata unaenda gym unapata the gym is big, there are different setups. Kuna gym kama hii, kuna setup huku na huku, but mtu amechoose and afanye tu shoulder press up, na kuna place ya shoulder press pale. Hiyo ina affect psychology. Number 2 ni ina affect psychology. Even now I can come and look at the bit of athletes. Unapata we've been competing sometimes.
Yes.
Unapata kuna kitu msana za sema. Whether kwa gym, whether during competition, inakuja na affect mentally. For a lift ama during workouts. So what do you think is the best way to deal with such issues, or what is your overall comment regards to the psychology in lifting?
I would like to answer your 2 questions with one answer, or rather 1 point, and say the solution is we embrace professionalism. Professionalism in the sense that we don't normally get a lot of knowledge in terms of sports in African countries, or rather in, let's say, Kenya, for example. Because you find most of these researchers that are inclined at growing the sport are either US-based or abroad-based, and by the time the information gets to you, you have a lot of questions like, no, hii ni kitu ya mzungu, haifai kufanywa. So the earlier perception about gym when we were growing was, I believe if you're my age mate, you've grown up in this era of Ronnie Coleman. Go hard or go home.
Yeah, true.
So we've always known if you want to make gains in the gym, you have to go hard or go
home. Yeah.
Yes. People never used to like this idea of this guy has better genetics. Genetics are going to align your body shape or size. Genetics will determine how strong you can get, how you will look. Yeah. People knew if I want to be as strong as Maloba, I have to go hard.
Go hard and go and hit those weights.
And go and hit those weights. But then you realize people are made different. And right now, genetics is something that is being embraced in sports. You can see with the coming up of an athlete like Phil Heath, who looked like he was winning effortlessly. To a point, people would say, no, the judge has favored him, this has happened, this has happened. Well, there are those instances, because if you're a top athlete and you are somewhere against someone who is not known, the judges just have to have a favorable eye.
Yeah.
It happens in every sport.
Luck favors the prepared.
Yes, but then he also, for him to get himself there, he has to have prepared himself.
Yeah, true.
So if we then embrace professionalism in the sense that we go out and get this information about strength sports, gyms and everything, then a lot of our practices will change. Because now, to answer your question of the person who you found doing shoulder press on the rack, you might find this person actually got it from a bodybuilding video of Ronnie Coleman doing shoulder press on the rack. And maybe Ronnie Coleman justified why he's doing that because he's lifting so heavy weights to a point that he can't unrack it from the normal standing overhead press rack, or something like, if it was that machine for pressing, you find he doesn't feel it the way he would have felt it if he had to unrack and move the weight by himself. So this person, it is engraved in his head that if I want to feel this, I'm working my shoulder muscle, I have to do it from the squat rack.
Yeah.
Yes. So he'll always be there, and it affects a lot of us athletes also, because you find if you're following a strength program like Strong Lift 5x5, when it comes to shoulder training,
Strong Lift 5x5.
5x5, yes.
No, I don't follow any program. Meaning, young gym kienyeji.
That's why people have to embrace professionalism.
For embrace professionalism, but I reached a point whereby using a program is good, because I think the last time I used a program, nilikuwa na hit very big numbers. But now, ikafika mahali siku hizi, at times I train with how venye body yangu na feel. Like I just give myself a good challenge. Nasikia leo mwili nita squat 180, nasema 180 6 times 6 reps. Ama hivyo, alafu sasa nafanya accessories.
Yeah, but the point of professionalism applies all over, because your point is also understandable. You know, following a program needs a certain level of consistency for even as long as a year. Because if you're following programs like 531, 531, if you download the spreadsheet, you find you have 39 weeks of activity. So you find in these 39 weeks, the weights keep adding in a way progressively, and it needs you to, if you have a target for this week, after every day you load what you've achieved. Like this week you can find, on Monday I'm starting with squats, bench press and barbell rows, and you find for squat I'm supposed to do 200 for 6 reps. at my top set. So you find if I do 200 for 5 reps, I'm supposed to go back to the software, to the Excel sheet, and write I did 5 reps. But then this program assumes that you are able to be consistent for that number of weeks. But then you are Kenyan and you're not a professional lifter. You have a day job, you have some side hustles, you have family you need to attend to. So you find some days you go to the gym when you don't have that feeling that I can lift this 200 for 6 reps.
Yeah, just before you continue, I wanted to cut you short.
Yes.
It's the issue about programming. I think this is a question I usually get from wase wengi. Mtu anataka kujua like nitapataje program, because we are at a point whereby we have good trainers all over the country who can assist in programming.
Yes.
But some of the trainers are so expensive just to formulate a program to some people. It's good to be expensive. Yeah, true. It's good to be expensive and give out a workout program to different people, depending on their status. But now you see, saa zingine bado pia we want to develop the sport. Tuko mahali kama Kisumu tunataka to develop strongman fitness. Mtu anataka kuingia strongman, but anataka nimpatie program. Mimi si trainer, mimi na train kienyeji, but saa zingine pia to be a pro huwezi train kienyeji, lazima uformulate program. Yeah. So what is the best way you can advise say wanataka program na hawezi pata the resources? How do you get your programs?
For me, I get mine through research, mostly research. I aligned myself with a lot of these online fitness groups in Facebook, in Instagram. So as much as they are certified trainers who do things on order, like for you to get a program that is customized for you, you then have to engage them and pay. But then for them also to advertise their work, they do advertise clients who have benefited from their programs. They do advertise this basic foundation of programming. You know, like things like Strongly 5x5 is just a basic foundation for strength training. It doesn't matter who you are, anyone can do it at any time. That is if you are a beginner or if you have maybe skipped the gym for about a year. So you can do Strongman 5x5. It helps you build that foundation of strength as you go further. So if you expose yourself to these groups, to these websites, to these coaching platforms, you get to learn a lot and get to use the trial and error method, because a good program has to be specifically doctored for you. And it has to be manipulated in a way to fit you. So you can get the general ones, which have already been made, and then try it and see. Get short programs, 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 17 weeks, those. Use them and see after 6 weeks, this is what I intend to get. This is what I have got. If you can do self-assessment, well and good. But then self-assessment also needs you to have some background knowledge.
Background knowledge of the fitness.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Powerflex Gym in Kisumu. We are going to upload this content. I'm going to put Instagram handles over there. So we're almost coming to the end, but now I want to focus on something to do with diet and nutrition. Diet, nutrition, and supplementation for any person in the gym. So particularly today, we want to talk about people who want to lose weight and people who want to add weight. Okay. What do you think is the best diet that you can advise them as an athlete? Now we start with somebody who wants to add weight, like me, struggling to add weight.
Okay, as I said, they are the basic, now the foundation.
Other than
the
knowledge that we'll get from, which if I could ask you like just randomly, which is the basic diet you can tell somebody who wants to, how do I go about? Like if you look at me, I want to add my muscle mass. Of course I'm strong, but I want to add my muscle mass. What can you advise me?
First, to correct you, there is no such thing as a basic diet or a best diet, because food is food. Every food, if you equate calories, every food is just food. You can't tell someone calories from meat is more superior than calories from eggs. But there are all sources of protein with different percentages per kg. So the foundation of weight gain and weight loss is all about calorie balancing. If you eat as much as you need, whether you eat vegetables or you eat chicken or you eat sugar.
Unataka kusema cabbage inaweza inua squat ya 300 kama Omalo, ya 350.
Sasa nikuja tu swali fulani simple, as much as it's a weird analogy, but it also makes sense to some bit. So unajua the big 5 animals, Kwa big 5 kuna ndovu, kuna simba, kuna buffalo,
chui kwa big 5.
Chui na big 5.
Buffalo, chui.
But that is already enough. Kwa big 5, nani ndo the biggest?
Elephant.
Nani akona nguvu zaidi?
Ni buffalo.
Na anakula nini?
Anakula nyasi.
Exactly. So that is the idea. You know, even if you say that.
So in short, you are trying to tell us that you work with what you have. Your body is going to take what
plus some tweaks, because you know bodybuilders say the best source of protein is egg whites and chicken breast, and that is mainly because of the composition of protein per 100 grams. You know, if you buy meat, if I buy a kilo of chicken breast, it doesn't mean that I am gaining a kilo of protein, because of that chicken breast, 33% is what is equivalent to protein. The remaining 67% is equivalent to water, fat, and some other things. So I think that is the highest source of protein in meat because of its percentage per weight. But then there's another option of eating termites. If you can get a handful of termites, that's 65% of protein. If you can. Hizi ndogo ndogo, si ile kubwa.
Termites kwa nini mzuri sana?
Yeah, they have a lot, especially zile ndogo, because you find ants. Ants are majorly an exoskeleton and muscle. Most of them don't even have bone density kubwa kama yetu. So you find most of it is muscle. Like, let's say a snake. Ukishika nyoka hivi. Nyoka has a lot of protein in it. But then, would you go hunting snakes to eat to get protein? You can't. So use what you have. So the idea for gaining muscle is there's a slow process of gaining lean muscle, but then that will take you like, in a year you'll gain 1 or 2 kilograms of muscle. As opposed to if you do be on a caloric surplus, while you're on a caloric surplus, there's no way you can control fat gain. Like you can control it, but then you will not avoid it completely. You will have to gain some fat.
What do you mean by calorie surplus? Unajua kuna mtu anatoka Shamahoho na mwingine wa Kisumu hapa.
Wacha ni equate hivi. Your total energy expenditure, let's give it a value of A. And your total energy output, let's give it a value of A as well. That is if it is equal to your total energy expenditure. So if the amount that you eat is equivalent to the amount that you burn throughout the day, then that is what is called a calorie balance. It means umekula 2000 calories, now umeburn 2000 calories. Equal. At that rate, you can never gain any weight. You will always be just there. Apart from the normal fluctuations like nimekunywa lita moja ya maji, nimekula chakula during the day, nasikia kwenda kwa choo kukunia. As I eat, you gain some point something of a kilogram. When you go to download in the loo or pee, you lose some 0.0 something of a kilogram. But then your average weight will just be the same. Hizo ni zile fluctuations za kila siku. But then now you'll average hapo at, if you're 75 kilograms, you'll be 75 kilograms.
75. So you have to surplus. You eat.
Now you have to eat more
than what you burn.
Yes, but then your body doesn't work on a daily calendar. Sometimes it works on a weekly. Most of the times it works on, depending on how you have programmed yourself. Now, like if you do an 8 to 5 job, Monday to Friday, and then you have a rest over the weekend, then you find your body will program itself per week. So you get yourself, kama ulizoea kuweka alarm ya saa 2 every Monday, and then Tuesday unaweka alarm ya saa 1, then Wednesday unaweka alarm ya saa 3. You find that after a period of a month or 2, saa 2 on Monday saa 2 mwili yako itakuamsha bila alarm.
Kabla tu tuendelee, kuna hiki tu nimeona strongman athletes wakifanya Kenya. Sijui kama inawaka. Watu wanamkanga usiku kukula. Nilikuwa watu wanaamka saa 9 kina Omalo wanakula rice plate sijui ngapi. Hadi sijui mtu alikuwa ananiambia usiku kuna venye chakula body na retain food. Is that your knowledge? Sijai fanya any research. Does that thing really work if you want to like to pata your calorie surplus? Eating at night, it's different from eating during the day.
It does work if it is in your program, if it has been programmed.
Could the reason be because the body is at rest during that time and not burning calories as opposed to during the
and you find the bottom of it is now this foundation, like what do you need to do? I want to gain weight. If I want to gain weight, I'll do a calorie surplus. That is the foundation. It applies for you regardless of your genetics. Now, when you start going up the pyramid, now those things that have lesser effect, but then they manage to bring you to what you want to be, then now you get into now the manipulations in a program, a training program, manipulations in a diet plan, because the required diet is simple, a balanced diet. Tumefunzwa since primary, a balanced diet is more essential than anything else. And a balanced means you need to have protein, you need to have carbohydrates, you need to have vitamins, and you need to have water, vitu kama maji. But then you find, when you get into professionalism in sport, then you are now being told food is put in a certain way that they are essential, and there are those inessential, there are macronutrients, there are micronutrients. It starts becoming more complex. So once you start by eating a balanced diet for a time, your body will change itself in a way. And then when you want to get better and better results, now you start going to the top of the pyramid. Start doing the manipulations. I want to gain. What should I measure on? There are these normal things we say. There's a higher carb diet plan. There's a higher protein diet plan. There's a moderate carb, high protein, high carb, moderate protein, high carb, high protein, moderate carb, moderate protein. Hizo zote ziko. So hizo sasa ndo utajiongezea polepole to get to what you now want to be. They'll help you polish up yourself mpaka ufike hapo.
So unaona hiyo information wa watu wangu, Powerflex Gym. Hiyo information can only be found at Powerflex Gym. Na msome. So in Kisumu. So I think the last question, and in brief, as we come to the end of this question, this is the story of a champion, and the last question I'd like us to assist our audience. People have been struggling with their losing weight. You've given me the how to gain weight, how to gain muscle. Na ni kitu mimi nimeelewa, sija explain wa kitu nika understand hivyo. Sasa tunataka kwa usaidie mtu the last information.
Yes.
In brief, somebody who is struggling to lose weight.
Well, we go back to the calorie equation. If you eat as much as you burn, you will maintain your weight.
So ukikula mandazi,
if you eat more than you need, you will
true.
then gain weight.
So it's just the same idea.
So if you eat less, but then hapo kwa less, there's just something that you should look into, because your body has its own way of operation, in the sense that there's something in the energy expenditure chart we call rest metabolism, which is like the biggest contributor to your energy expenditure chart. It takes about 40 to 60% of your total energy income, what you've eaten. Rest metabolism is the amount of energy your body needs to run its organs and just function, to keep you alive, in short. Your body stops metabolism.
Ufai fast kama watu wa shakahola, it affect rate metabolism.
Yes, it actually does. That's why most of them ended up dead. So it actually does. But if you're doing it for religious practices, kama Catholics during Lent, kama Muslims during Ramadan, it's allowed, because it's only for a period of time, and you go back to yourself. So you would lose weight, but then you would have this chance to regain. And if unaifanyia Mungu wako, it's okay. Yes, hatuwezi kata fanya. But not to the extremities that you end up dead. So now, when you're dieting, when you're now eating at a calorie deficit, ensure you never go below your rest metabolism.
Sasa hii rest metabolism, nitajua aje what my body needs as the rest metabolism? Is it that something like I feel body yangu na need hii? But anyway, I've got your point about calorie deficit.
Yes.
But now there's that issue about rest metabolism. Because mimi naonanga watu kwa maofisi wanajinyima, msichana na asubuhi hadi jioni anataka kunywa tu maji kwa ndimu na bado kilo ina
na kilo bado inaongeza. It's because of what they do. There's a time I had a friend who wanted to lose weight and told me she had restricted herself to 1 meal per day. But then she still kept gaining weight. And she asked me, why am I eating 1 meal and I'm still gaining weight? I told her, well, you are a lady, you are 70 kilograms. You probably need, ikienda sana hata 1,800 calories per day and survive. What do you eat in your 1 meal? Akaniambia atakula nyoyo, that is githeri. Atakula maembe. Atakula chapo 3.
Hizo calories.
Kule na maragwe in 1 meal.
Akona mtu.
So I told her, ushapata 1,800 calories from your meal moja, so that's why huwezi koda una lose weight, because then one thing with your body, when it knows you are starving, it goes into reserve mode, in that it limits itself from unnecessary energy consuming activities, something we call NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's NEAT. You find if you eat normally hadi ushibe, and I tell you after work, Juha, badala kupanda matatu hapa, situtembee ile 1 kilometer tupande matatu, umeshiba, you will walk. But then you've starved the whole day, you've starved yourself the whole day. Umemanage to kukula some burger in the evening and tunatoka job na nakwambia, Maloba, situtembee 1 kilometer. Utaniambia, buda, niko na fare. Haiwezi. Upande matatu uende. So you find your body has put you that way. It's not that it's in your mind, it's your body which is actually tricking you so that it tries to reserve how much calories you spend unnecessarily so that irudishe into survival mode ya kukufa. So that is now the trick about losing weight, because you find most people just do it out of, I don't like how I look in a mirror. Nimeenda nimekanyaga scale naona niko 140 kilograms, nasema shit, lazima ni lose kilo 20 in 2 months. It's possible, but then you have to push yourself beyond your body's capability to a point that, do you know, mwili yako ukistress sana, it burns muscle more readily than fat, because fat in your body is 9 calories per gram, but your muscle, which is mostly built up of water and protein, is around 4 calories per gram. Tell me, if you are starving, how your body will choose instead to burn something that requires 9 calories to burn just 1 gram, as opposed to something that requires 4 calories.
Yeah, true. You may get your point.
It'll burn muscle instead. So you find you'll be losing weight, but your body fat percentage is increasing. Now, ulikuwa 140 and you had a body fat percentage of 38. Reduce mpaka 120, body fat percentage yako imeingia 44.
Ni sawa. I think guys, such information can only be found in Powerflex Gym. Kama hukuenda shule, peleka mtoto shule. Kama unataka to simplify this conversation, I think you've gotten, for those who are struggling adding muscle, for those who are struggling
kuna point moja
losing, yes,
please seek a professional. Kwa hizo vitu zote.
Seek a professional. There are trainers, there are nutritionists.
Just seek a professional.
Mzana ako informed anaweza kuandanganya.
But mimi si professional. Mimi nilisoma tu. Lakini there are professional trainers around. To answer the question of why they are expensive, it's because market, just normal market, the way market works. If the demand is higher than the supply, then
true.
What should you expect? You'd expect the price to be low.
So that also means people should be ready to spend.
Yeah, people should be ready to spend.
For a professional.
Fitness is a lifestyle and it's a lifetime thing. You don't do it for 3 years, 4 years, wachane nayo. You will do it for the rest of your life. And things change every time. You find like, there's this guy who posted kwa group ya, was it Kamkuji? And said that for a normal adult, as from the age of 30 years, every decade you lose about 10% of your muscle mass. That's not even when you uko.
Yeah, true.
So you find the way you are training before 30 years will be slightly different from the way you start training from 30 kuendelea. That's why exercise has levels. There is a primary lifter, there is an intermediate, early, mid, and late intermediates, and then there are those advanced lifters. If you go through all those stages, you'll realize your gym load has been decreasing as you go up above the ladder. An advanced trainer can come to the gym for 90 minutes, for 45 minutes and go.
I think, okay, I've not been in the gym for a while, but I think saizi sidhani as a train even nilikuwa na train 10 years ago.
Uwezi kuja gym 2 hours venye ulikuwa.
Kwa time nilikuwa naweza train 6 hours. Saizi na training 2 hours.
Saizi uwezi 2 hours umeshachoka hata.
But funny enough, strength yangu saizi iko juu sana.
Now because you're climbing the ladder. You're now an advanced trainer. There's this athlete in Kisumu called Simon Magak. He used to be an athlete.
Simon Magak.
You know, Simon had, at that time, people would see his training as a little bit strange. Because unaona msee anakuja gym, anapanga deadlift. He has never been here, but kitambo kidogo. So he's gonna train some gym in Manyata. Atapanga bench, deadlift, barbell row, na squat. Atazunguka hapo mara 4 na aende home. So you'd look at him like a piggy extension, a piggy G flies, a piggy nini, and you wonder, umsa ajiki tu anafanya. But then you find, amekushinda nguvu na muscle. So you ask yourself, umsa alifika aje hapa? But then he's an advanced trainer. So he doesn't need to spend hours in the gym doing extensions, doing what. He has already developed your muscle to that point that
It's just sticking to the basics.
Umenunua kiatu, umenunua hash puppy. Unajua hash puppy? Hii kiatu ya 13,000.
Niko na kiatu ya maana.
Umetengeneza hash puppy. Sasa unapaka tu rangi and then unakuja una shine. Unajua hash puppy hata usipo shine inakaa tu mzuri. Hata usipopaka rangi inakaa tu mzuri. Sasa he has gone through the process of building such a shoe. Si wewe umekuja na vunja kwa gym, uko nayo hivi unataka kupiga rangi na brush, ushine vizuri. Unajua hata ushine hiyo vunja vizuri ukikaa kando ya hash puppy. I bado ishindi. So you also need to go through that process of smelting as a primary or early and mid intermediate before now you can enjoy the benefits of a late intermediate and an advanced trainer. Also programs come in because programs also, other just the most basic programs you can find online, they have levels. You're looking for a program for a
intermediate
primary lifter. Utapewa hiyo strongly 5x5. It's so basic. Unapiga vitu 3 in a gym na unaenda. That's 3 times a day. In 90 minutes you're done because Monday umeingia squat, deadlift, umeenda.
Biblia inasema na aliye na masikio asikie. Please close for us the show and you tell them this is the story of a champion at the end. So you close by your Instagram handle, where to find you, and this is the story of a champion.
Okay guys, first of all I'd like to thank Maloba for this platform. The sport has really struggled with getting someone who can really air it, because you see we even have challenges getting sponsors, we have challenges getting athletes who can stay in the sport and get the benefit of easy informations that are around. But then thanks to people like Juha Maloba, I've also seen Nico Mutisia has been coming.
Nico Mutisia, by the way, you should vote for Nico Mutisia Digital Creators Awards.
So thanks to these guys, at least we're getting a platform to air ourselves, we're getting a platform to share information which might be helpful to one athlete or the other. We also learn from other athletes who have been in the sport before us, have learned more than us and have been better than us in one way or another. The end goal is to win. You always say the end goal is to win. Yeah, so we'll all win together. So thank you Maloba for this platform. This is the story of a champion.
Until next time, we'll come for part 2.
My name is Mariano Amumbe. My Instagram handle is a business handle, but you can follow it. It's called Fitness Shop Kenya. We do supply fitness products, that is gym equipment and gym wear and supplements. On Facebook you can find me as Mariano Amumbe. And
wait for part 2 very soon. Bye.
Story of a champion. Cheers.
Bye.